In today's video, I will cover the MASSPORT Police. I'm Nicholas, and this is the Law Enforcement Agency Information Channel. The MASSPORT Police is a uniformed Massachusetts state law enforcement agency that falls under the Massachusetts Port Authority, or MASSPORT for short, which is a state agency, or more specifically, a state entity that that operates and manages the majority of state-owned ports of entry in Massachusetts. But anyways, the MASSPORT Police is responsible for protecting and policing maritime facilities owned or operated by MASSPORT. Now, while MASSPORT does own non-maritime facilities in addition to their maritime facilities, such as the Logan International Airport, its police force, the MASSPORT Police, is restricted to those maritime. In other words, non-maritime facilities of MASSPORT, such as the Logan International Airport, are not within the MASSPORT Police's jurisdiction nor authority. I'll get into that later, but anyways, currently MASSPORT operates approximately 10 maritime facilities. All of their facilities are located within the city of Boston. They are located within different parts of Boston, including East Boston, South Boston, and Charlestown. Especially East Boston and Charlestown. That's where most of their facilities are located. I don't know each and every one of their 10 maritime facilities, but I do know their primary ones. So their primary ones include the Flynn Cruise Port Boston, the Boston Auto Port. Sorry, my computer almost shut off there. The International Cargo Terminal, the East Boston Shipyard and Marina, and etc. But aside from that, the MASSPORT Police very frequently coordinates with the Massachusetts State Police, or more specifically, its Troop F barrack, when it comes to protecting and policing MASSPORT maritime facilities. In fact, and I'll get into this later too, the MASSPORT Police shares concurrent jurisdiction with the Massachusetts State Police over protecting MASSPORT maritime facilities. But the main difference is that the main difference between them when it comes to protecting MASSPORT is that the MASSPORT Police only protects maritime facilities of MASSPORT, while the Massachusetts State Police Troop F protects all facilities of MASSPORT, both maritime and non-maritime. The MASSPORT Police also works in coordination with the MASSPORT Fire and Rescue, especially during fire-related emergencies and emergencies in general. That's pretty much it for their responsibilities. The MASSPORT Police maintains jurisdiction in and around maritime facilities owned or operated by MASSPORT. Non-maritime facilities owned or operated by MASSPORT, such as the Logan International Airport, that the MASSPORT Police does not protect, are provided with even heavier security by the Massachusetts State Police's Troop F. Additionally, since all buses and shuttles since all buses and shuttles of MASSPORT depart from airports, those buses and shuttles also fall under the authority of the Massachusetts State Police. Crimes taken on MASSPORT property, including maritime property, are also generally handled by the Massachusetts State Police. So as you can see, the authority of the Massachusetts State Police when it comes to protecting Massport is much larger than the Massport Police. Um, why this is, you're probably wondering. Well, I mean, there are many reasons. The main one is that the Massport Police is not as it's not as equipped as the Massachusetts State Police. It currently has only 20 officers. The Massachusetts State Police has over 3,000 employees, including 100, I believe, over 140 troopers from the Troop F. So yeah, it's definitely a big difference. So that's kind of the main reason why. Like if they let Massport Police patrol, if they sent Massport police officers to patrol Logan, that wouldn't be enough for security. That's why they use the Massachusetts State Police instead. Why don't they let them patrol Logan along with the Massachusetts State Police? I have absolutely no idea, and it doesn't really make sense for that. But I think it's because of how, actually, it's probably because of how small the force is. If you think about it, the Massachusetts State Police already has 140 troopers from the Massachusetts State Police Troop F already has over 140 troopers. Most of those troopers are patrolling the Boston Logan International Airport. So there are already enough officers for that. And if Massport Police only has 20 officers and it's putting all those officers at Logan, it won't have enough officers for protecting maritime facilities. So I think that's the main reason why. Because they know that if they let them have jurisdiction over it, of course they're going to police it because it's the biggest port of Massachusetts. So yeah. Massport police officers train for approximately 25 weeks, give or take, at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree. I think I'm pronouncing that right. New Braintree, Massachusetts. And yes, you heard me right. They train at the State Police Academy. There are multiple reasons for why that is. They are not the only state law enforcement agency in Massachusetts. They are not the only state level law enforcement agency in Massachusetts that trains alongside the primary state level law enforcement agency, the Massachusetts State Police. The Massachusetts State University Police also trains alongside the Massachusetts State Police. The simple reason for why this is because simply due to budget reasons, the Massport Police does not want to buy its own training facility, so instead they ask their good friends, the Massachusetts State Police, to use their training facility for training their officers. So yeah, but their training is actually very, very similar. I would say the training Massachusetts State Police troopers go through is slightly harder, but the duration of time is the same, and it's at the same academy. Again, it's probably a bit harder for the Massachusetts State Police simply due to their everyday responsibilities. They're typically much more rigorous or difficult, requiring more training than the Massport Police. But yeah, that's really it for their training. The Massport Police reports to the Chief Executive Officer of Massport, who reports to the Governor of Massachusetts. No, municipal police officers, including those from the Boston Police Department, generally do not have jurisdiction over a state property, including that owned or operated by Massport. This overall concept, especially applies in this case. In fact, this exact question was brought up back in the 2018s when people began seeing Boston police officers patrolling the Boston Seaport, which is a area owned by MASSPORT. This really upset the Massachusetts State Police and the MASSPORT Police, who were the primary agencies for patrolling the area. So they don't really like when people interfere, they don't really like when other agencies, interfere with their enforcement duties. So they bring it up to higher authorities. They eventually bring it up to the Massachusetts State Police and the MASSPORT Police. Eventually bring it up to higher authorities, who bring it up to the Senate, and eventually involved the Senate, which basically vetoed the BPD's, the Boston Police Department's request to police MASSPORT. To police, Seaport, which is owned by MASSPORT. There are many reasons why they vetoed that request. The main and biggest reason is because Seaport is state property, and the Senate simply does not want a law enforcement agency like the Boston Police Department that they have no control over policing their own property. But someone who does not know that much about governmental jurisdiction would probably say something like, well, if Seaport's in Boston, doesn't that mean the Boston police should have control over it? Well, I mean, my answer to that is no. Okay, not everything. When they say citywide jurisdiction, because if you've heard the Boston Police has citywide jurisdiction, you'd be correct. But areas like MASSPORT that are owned by the state of Massachusetts are technically considered outside that region or that area. It's not. So if you were to have a map of the city of Boston, which is the jurisdiction of the Boston Police Department, if you were to be really detailed, areas like Seaport, which are owned by the state of Massachusetts, would not be on that map because they are state property. This applies to other property too, like federal property. That would also be off the map. But I mean, yeah. So I hope that answers the question. So yeah, I hope that answered the question. Yeah.